What's up, Bug Dog with Dean in the garage? Today we're going to be doing some work on the Kawasaki Donkey. It needs some electrics. Some electrics fixed, some electrics added, some electrics modified, and we're going to do that today. We're going to be making our own little panel. I think we're going to use this piece of aluminum that I had sitting over there. Let's dig into the Donkey, see what we're up against today. Alrighty, so here's the first thing we need to achieve with this new switch panel. I think you all remember that to turn this thing on, you turn the key on to get the fuel pump and the ignition going, and then you bump the starter with Mr. Sparky over here, and that works all well and good. But I'd like to have a push button starter. Additionally, this thing does need to get controls for a winch. I said I want to have set controls that are always in here, not like a winch controller. We pulled this little rusty spinny boy out of Eric's pile of spare winches. I think it's going to do just fine. Confirmed she worked. And then the final thing it needs, over there on the wall of shame, I have a whole mess of LEDs. So I mean, obviously, it's, you know, in this day and age, if you're not cool if you don't have LEDs on something. So we're going to wire a relay and switch in for LEDs. Now I had a bunch of ideas on where to put these. Ideally, I wanted to put them right here, but I don't want to do that for two reasons. One, they're a little bit too exposed to the elements. I'm going to be plowing in this thing. That's what the winch is for. And two, the executive producer loves playing on this thing. And I don't want her to be able to accidentally or on purpose fiddle about with the winches. That's actually why the wood floor is there. She was sitting on the seat one day. She and I had going for a ride. She hopped down, fell straight through the floor. She was pissed. The wife was pissed. I felt like an idiot. So we put in this classy wood floor. You can't buy class like this. You just have to be born with it. Additionally, just for quick catch up for those of you who followed the first two videos, we fixed the hole in the back. This is my favorite sign I've ever acquired. I'll let you guys figure out why. But I donated it to the cause, a couple of self-tappers, and she jimmy jammed in there real good. Anyway, back to the task at hand. Where to put this fuse panel? So we determined it's got to be out of the way. I thought about putting it inside there, but the reason I want to do that is I want the push button to be someplace where I can reach it if the motor starts giving me trouble. So I came up with this somewhat elegant solution. We're going to take this piece of aluminum, and I think we're going to put it right here. This serves a bunch of purposes. It's out of the way where the kid's not going to notice it. They're a little more protected from the elements. I may be able to make a little top for it at some point to keep the snow off it. And it's real close to the battery, so I'm not going to have wires crisscrossing all over the globe here, which is a good thing, because me and electrical, you know. All right, now some of the angles today might be a little strange on the old camera there. I lost my large tripod. You might be asking, Doug, how in the world do you lose a tripod? And I will tell you, you have to be a pretty high-level monkey with a toolbox to lose something like a tripod. So we've got her on the small boy there. Anyway, we bought some stuff. We found some stuff in storage. I'm going to put this push button start in there. The box says waterproof, so good. And additionally, I have a bag of these waterproof on-off switches. We're going to definitely put one of these bad boys. No, that's not them. Yes, it is. We're definitely going to put one of these things on there so that I can totally kill the system. Again, for safety for the kid. They got these nice little waterproof boots, so that's good. I'm not using a relay or anything in that particular system. We're just going to run that one live and hope for the best. Then we've got, no, that's not it. I've got a single post, double throw that we bought for the winch. That looks like this. So one way will be in, out. If you guys are interested in doing a winch setup like this, I did a whole video when I did it in my Cherokee. I'll link it someplace. I'm not going to go in depth on the wiring diagram again. We'll just do high level. And additionally for the winch, I wanted to have an on-off again for safety. That's even for safety from me. I'm an idiot. I'll be knocking into that thing and snapping winch wire. So another waterproof on-off switch, and we're going to do an indicator light for the winch so that I can remember if I left it on. Additionally. What else did I want to do? Oh, just a regular, why do I keep closing? It's amateur hour. Additionally, we need a waterproof on-off and a relay for the lights, the LED lights. Now all this stuff is going to be fused, not the starter, not the push start. I'm just going to do that. That doesn't need to be fused. But the lights will obviously be fused. I have some leftover fuse blocks here. I'll put an inline one for that. But I like to use these circuit breakers for the winches. This is a 40 amp. I think this is going to be good. I can't remember which one I have in my Jeep, and the words are all... My Jeep, I only use a 2,500 pound winch because I just use it for plowing. I don't pull anything with it. And I think that 25 is running off a 40 amp breaker. That's what this is. If this one's chittering and chattering on me, then I'll go get the 80. But you always want to use, obviously, the lowest number fuse you possibly can for the lights. I don't know what we'll need. So first and foremost, I don't know if this is the proper first step. This is the first step we're going to do. Let's figure out where all these switches are going to go on our handy dandy piece of aluminum. Jeremy thinks that first and foremost we're going to want to find a center line on this aluminum. Oh, you know what? This is a 1-inch ruler. So I'm just going to put that tight to the bottom there. And slurp. Of course, my Sharpie's dying. Amateur hour. Now let's go over to the Mule and just figure out where the ends have to be. What else we could do? We could maybe put it right like that. Then we have even more room. Maybe that's how we'll do it. I like that plan. I do like that plan. I'm gonna put it right there. I'll draw some lines. That's where the bottom, that's where the top is. And make a little mark so we know which way is the front. Not that that shouldn't be obvious, but you guys know how that goes. All right, do we fine, folks? Think about this one. At the very bottom, we'll have the 3 for the winch. Probably winch control on the bottom, indicator light, on-off switch on top, push button with the kill switch. That's not really a kill switch, it just activates the push button, which I know might be overkill, but again, the kid is gonna be around this thing, so I just don't want to take any chances. She's gonna have to really do some algebra to figure out how to get this thing on. And then up here will just be the on-off for the lights, and I can leave myself some room for some work lights or something in the future. What do you think? Speak now or forever hold your peace. It is kind of a big day over here at D&E. You know, I got 3 pups. Come here, Wiggles. Rigby is back in the shop. You guys haven't seen her in a video in well over a year. She's been very, very sick. But we finally figured out what we had to do, and Wiggles is almost back. We got Jude, Eleanor Rigby, and JoJo. Who can take a guess at our naming scheme. But anyway, you can see Rigby's not totally back together, but it's a big day to have my my buddy back out in the shop while we're working. Haven't seen her in about a year. These 2 idiots are always around. Right, Jude? He doesn't care. Right, JoJo? She says, get back to work, you idiot. The people came to see a vidya about electrics, not about woofers. Well, buddy Buck, I'll tell you what, we got lucky. Everything is going to be a 1/2 incher. This one may be a little tight, but we might have to do a little weeble wobble and warble her out. And then a 3/4 inch spade billet. That's what I'm going to try. I know that I'm probably just going to ruin this bit, and it's probably going to grab this and send it flying into atmosphere, but you have to adapt, overcome something, whatever they say. That's what we got to work with. That's what we're going to work with, and I'll try to find a 3/4 inch twist bit for next time. All right, friends, safety squints engaged. Let's throw on some gloves just for fashion. Wish me luck. We might have to pilot drill it. Maybe it'll work then. And it's not looking good though. It's not looking good. Looks like I'm gonna be drilling it 1/2 inch and then filing it. Ugh. Or you can just go to the store and buy the right bit. All right, try this again. This probably puts it out of your view, but I gotta get work done. So far, so good. Come on, I hate the crank on this thing. This Cryobi unit. I really want to get full size, but it's on the to-do list. Just like everything else. You're not going to see it in this video, but I finally bought myself an Impact. I know, right? Took me long enough. Alright, friends, let's try this again. I don't think it's going to work, but we'll give it one more shot. Okay, well, that is a result, and it is going through, but boy did it grab it in a big way. It was ready to throw this thing across the room. Glad I had these gloves on. I think we're gonna tighten her down and keep going. Maybe even come at her from the other side. Maybe come at her from the other side. I think that's a good idea. And just be super ready to shut the whole show down should it come to that. But hey, so far we're living to die another day. Ta-da! That was not as sketchy as I thought it was going to be. Could have been a lot worse. I kind of want a refund. We only had the one, there was just the one pants messing moment. See, this thing fits now. I'll bring you guys down in for the angle of the dangle. That was the only hole that was going to be difficult. The rest should be relatively simple. I'm not going to bring you in for every hole, I promise. We'll get to some... Oh, like a glove. Look at that. It's beautiful. All right, I'm going to go drill a whole mess of half-inch holes, and then we will talk some more about stuff that matters. All right, friends, there she goes in all her holy goodness. Now, here's the long and the short of it, and I'm going to tell you, I don't really want to drill any holes in the tubing for the Kawasaki. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut some lines so that it's just flush with the top, and then I think we'll drill in some slots to use hose clamps. That's the idea. So we're going to use the old jigsaw over here, bandsaw rather, to do that. I'd like to give you guys some advice. If you find yourself with the desire to have two hobbies, but only one garage, do not pick automotive and woodworking. They do not mix in the same garage. They are, in fact, the worst two activities to try to do, because sawdust sticks to everything greasy, and grease ruins clean wood. They just don't mix. Also, none of the tools overlap. So, I'm just trying to tell you, do yourself a favor. Another piece of advice, though, if you ever have an opportunity to grab one of these bandsaws, they take up a lot of space and they're not cheap. I got mine hand-me-down from my father, but they're great little machines. That easily could have been done with a grinder, but then I wouldn't have gotten to use the bandsaw. Alrighty, I'm gonna real quick hit it front and back and sides with the 1x30 to knock off the sharp edges so that we don't have razors right there at elbow height. And then we'll take it to the wire wheel and get all the crust off it so she look nice and pretty. Tell you what, Buck, this is my favorite part, to put all the switches in. Interesting story about this piece of aluminum. This very piece of aluminum is left over from when I put that much hated hood LED on Willie. I mounted it to the hood via a chunk of, get the Nebraska nut rounder out, the chunk of aluminum that was the other half of this. So, I don't know, point of interest, I suppose. Tappy tap tap. Perfect. It's like I know what I'm doing. I don't. Don't make that mistake. I do not know what I'm doing. Something about having a ton of switches, right? It's just satisfying. Tight. Where do we want the winch? All the way on the bottom? On, off, on top, winch, the actual controls on the bottom? No, I think I want the actual controls right there. The single post double throw. And I don't need one that says on, I'll know what they are. Cut that guy all the way down. Slurp that guy up through the hole. And we're in busyness. I forgot to mention, additionally, I did buy a winch solenoid, which you need to do this. Real inexpensive on Amazon. Comes with everything you need. Comes with some little boots. It's covered in sawdust because, again, those two hobbies just don't mix. This is the little guy. I think it was like 19 bucks. Doing it this way is not less expensive than just buying a winch controller, but I like it better. I don't like having a separate wire thing that I gotta find, or worrying about a remote for wireless. They're just hardwired in all the time. All right, the easy and fun part is done. We've got our panel. Oh, I should have. I should have drilled the holes for the slots for the band clamps first, but I didn't, and that's okay. Next up, starting to wire. All right, here's one of those things that gets me yelled at all the time. You got these switches, right, with the little screws in there. In my younger days, I'd strip the wire like that, jam it behind the screw head, and send her home. 6 months later, it comes undone. I can't figure out what's wrong, and I want to push the whole thing into the ocean. Nowadays, I take a blade connector, and I drill her out so that I can screw it right to it. And I've got all kinds of people yell at me for that. And now it screws right on there. How do you guys do them? I don't know, how am I supposed to do them? Somebody tells me I'm not doing it the way it's supposed to be done, but it works. I really got no time for that, I'm sorry. It worked. Here's where we're at. It's been about 3 days. This thing's been sitting in the wife's garage spot. Something about an idiot toy, and it's been raining, and it's time to get it out of the garage. So we made some slots here for the hose clamps. We're going to go ahead and pretty them up with some files, as much as one would need to for a fuse panel for a Kawasaki Mule. We're going to get most of this all wired in tonight, and we're going to call it a day. Get the push start going, get the lights going, and get most of the winch done. I have to pull apart the whole front of this donkey with the impact gun up and running for that. So that'll be a project for another day. We got to get her mobile, get her moving. I think that's darn near pretty enough. Good enough for government work, that's for sure. Well, I'll tell you the big news today is we found the tripod. It was sitting out underneath the Dirty Bird Ferd collecting rainwater. I'm not really sure how that happened, but she's home now, so you'll have the view as you're used to. How the fork did I get this in here the other day? There we go. Like a glove. I'm actually really happy with this placement. It's going to be nice and out of the way. I'm going to be able to waterproof it pretty easily, and it's super close to the battery, so 10 out of 10 for placement, in my humble, non-biased opinion. Right? That's pretty good looking. We do need to wing nut her up a bit so that we can get to the winch controls down there, which did come out a little close to this bottom bar, I won't lie, but yeah. Tis what it is. That's what I always say. All right, folks, for the remainder of the flight, this is likely going to be most of your view. First thing to tackle, makes the most sense, is the push start, since the wire's already here. It's already running up. I got it tied to the frame in a couple places. I'm going to keep it through here. We'll send her right around to the switch. Probably going to be safe cutting it right about, yeah. I didn't know which side to put y'all on. I recognize you're missing out on half the show either way. Some more of our modified blade connectors. I know that that's not even remotely the way you're supposed to do it, and there's probably a way that everyone else on the planet knows, and I'm just a monkey with a toolbox, but come on, man. It gets the job done. I'm watching a lot of Watch Wes work lately. I get so embarrassed about the way I work when I watch his stuff. Or like South Main Auto. I mean, they do it professionally. We're just here trying to get through the day. Really got to find a heat gun. I don't know what happened to mine. Been missing, admittedly, for a while. Problem with doing it this way is it makes the rubber hard, and it actually backs off a bit. It's really the wrong way to do it, but gotta work with what you got. All right, thankfully this whole electrical system is relatively unmolested by the previous owner. I don't think they had any lights or anything added. So I've got one of those insulated shrink shrink insulated, what am I trying to say here? What is going on? Ring terminals, Christmas, amateur. For this guy, I think that should do just fine. You may notice that my battery is currently held down with twine. That's fine. Pay no attention to the movie on the curtain. The problem with these, as good as they are, is I don't think the Bic lighter is going to do the trick. I'm going to leave some extra so that I have extra. I'm just going to, that's what's going to happen here. Now these are actually high quality, so they're not going to give me those same issues. I needed a blue one. Why am I holding a pink one? Christmas. Damn. You guys saw me grab that pink one. You weren't going to say anything. Bad friends, I tell you. Ooh, actually that worked out real nice. That's good. Something so satisfying, right? Especially on this one, because this is going to be down in the mud and the blood and the beer when we're plowing, conceivably. I tell you, plows for this thing are not inexpensive. I'm seriously considering getting a Craigslist ATV plow and just making it work. Teeny tiny screwdriver to the rescue. And now we're about to go live. Slip that under there. Spin around to the back. At some point I'll probably zip tie it to the other wires for stability, but why is this the screwdriver I'm using? It's not even remotely appropriate. Alright, see if she works. Circuit's on. Perfect. Can't do that too much because the executive producer is sleeping right up there, like 5 feet above my head. But that's awesome, that works. Let's figure out where we want to mount the winch solenoid. Alrighty friends, here's the unit we picked up off the Jamazon. Does not come with mounting hardware, it just comes with these little booties to go over each connection, which I dig. I like that. I want it close to the battery, close to the controls, so I don't have a ton of wires running everywhere. I don't hate the idea of maybe sending it under the seat somewheres. Christmas. Need oil them joints? I mean, there's not a lot of. Let's get you guys in here. Oh, you know what? What do you guys think about this? Literally just mounting it down here. I'll tell you why. There's nothing up in here that's sturdy enough. This is just plastic. I mean, it's sturdy plastic, but I'm not gonna melt stuff to it. Also, this is like look how grimy it is. Oh, you can't see it down in there. Take my word for it. I wouldn't lie to you guys. It's grimy. There's already a ton of electrical bird's nests over there. I don't want to add to that. So, what do you think about leaving it right here? I mean, the battery terminal goes right there. We can use the battery ground. We send the 2 wires. Well, it's 3 wires up to. It's the hot and then 1 for each side. Up to right to there. That doesn't have to go very far. It can go behind there. Very minimal chance of it getting caught on like brush. Very minimal chance of it. It is going to be getting dirty down there, but I like that. I think that's the winner. It's pretty sturdy right there. Yeah. I like that a lot. Yeah. Good stuff. All right. I'm not going to physically mount it this second. I want to be able to move it around, but let's get... do I have big enough wire for mounting? How big of the wire do you think should go from the battery? What's in the Jeep right now? It's not that big, but it's bigger than 14. Let me see what I have. All right, hear me out. All I have that's big is a whole roll of this 6. That's more than I need. I don't need to go to 6. I may run 6 up front to the actual winch, or I may wait and find some 8. I'm going to do 14 from the battery. Is that too small? Wish I had some 12. Should I just wait? Christmas, this is the dilemma. Pretty sure I think I've run 12. All right, well, if it burns up, it burns up. If he dies, he dies. Let me get the circuit breaker. We're just going to do some wiring right now. And I'm even going to use the proper black and red, because we have those in the shop. We have the technology. I know I promised you guys lights, but while I was looking around for something to sit on, I looked around the shop and I just don't have anything. I got some really nice Hellas that I don't want to put on this. I want to put them on something that's going to look good, so we have the switch for the lights. At a later date, we'll do some lights. Let me know what lights you think I should put on here. Originally, I was going to do LEDs, but LEDs suck in the snow. They just bounce white light back at you. What do you think would be some good, obviously inexpensive, probably from the junkyard lights to throw on this donkey for plowing the driveway and obviously running down the road? Well, I just ruined that one. Problem is clearly not these cheap parts. I'm just an idiot. And obviously running through town, because the only time you can have any fun on the roads in New Jersey is when the snow has made roads impossible and impassable, and everybody just stays home because they're terrified of their own shadow as soon as the road gets wet. Then you can take the quads on the road. People aren't really gonna care. This one's ruined. I got to redo this. Got the song from Moana stuck in my head because that's what Tess wanted to listen to on the way to daycare today. It's a great song to have stuck in your head out there. It's the one The Rock sings, for context, for you other fathers out there. They sell heat guns at Walmart? I'll bet they do. Actually, you know what they did? They put in a Harbor Freight 20 minutes from where I work. I'm trying to not get in the habit of going over there. It's not easy. And as a small spoiler alert, I did not buy the Harbor Freight Impact. Thought about it. For a guy like me, man, that earthquake stuff is just fine. Most of it. A lot of it. Some of it. I don't know. And then this goes, obviously we're not going to hook up the battery right now, so we don't need to, but tonight we will power a winch. I won't run the wires, I'll get jumper cables, but I want to make sure all the wiring works as it should. Then this will be the last thing I'm going to do. I'm going to watch the Bears take on the Rams. By the numbers, the Rams are a better team. That Aaron Donald, nope. Yeah, Aaron Donald. Sam Darnold in the Jets and Aaron Donald. He is one bad dude. We got Khalil Mack. And I know that 99.9% of our audience does not care about football. And of those people, only one of them, looking at you, Fleeted WJs, cares about the Bears. So basically, right now, I'm talking directly to one viewer. That's the kind of stuff you get here. And we're going to attach it to the proper lug, which in this case is a red lug. Oh no, it's not the song The Rock sings that I got stuck in my head. It's the island of Montaigne is all you need. So there you go, dinner and a show. These guys are only getting Leatherman tight for now because I know I'll be in here 100 more times trying to get this going. I'm thinking about maybe trying to make a little box to put them in. I just don't know. I like the idea of having them there, but I'm not totally sold on it. But I really do like the idea. That looks like enough. Okay, a little tiny screwdriver. I mean, it makes sense. It's a battery screwdriver, so that's why I'm using it. That's what it's for. Batteries. Run this back along with all the other wires. There was way too much wire. Who would ever need so much wire? Wanted to leave extra because I don't know where we're going to end up. You get it. I always do that when I run wires. I think I'm erring on the side of safety and I just cut too much, but then I just have too much wire. Like, where did I think the wire was going to go? All right, let's leave that guy there for a minute. Figure out what we're going to need to power up the switch. The switch needs a constant hot, so we jump off this thing. Being a shade tree mechanic, having this be my hobby, i.e. the way I blow off steam and generally remain relaxed enough to continue dealing with the world as it is, but I don't get any projects done in a little bit. It kind of affects me mentally, I'm not kidding you. I have worked in a shop, and I remember it was a lot harder to go home and work on my own stuff after working on just being around cars all day. That's not the case now. I have a desk job. So it's been like 2 weeks before I've really gotten a project. I guess when I got this thing running, that was like the last time I'd had a project done. I haven't checked anything off the box except draining this friggin' grill lighter. That flame was a lot bigger when we started, wasn't it? So here's what we're looking at. Let me show you. Sorry. I forgot to explain all the jumpers I did. I said I wasn't going to make this a total how-to video, but I might as well show you what the hell we're doing. So this is going to power on the system. That'll turn on this light, and it'll also send power to this switch. So that constant hot's going to come over here, and then you can see this other side of the switch is already broken off, one to the light and one to that middle post I was talking about. Alrighty, so these guys are like those little barrel type connectors, and I happen to have a box of those. Are they the right size? I don't know. Let's find out. Looks like they might be. That's awesome. So I'm going to make the cables to connect those, and I'll bring you in when we're ready to connect them. Alrighty, friends, if you're squeamish or a professional mechanic or electrician, you might want to look away. The rat's nest over there is going to be a little tough to take, but everything is wired up and looking good. We got power to this light, on off. That's the warning light, so I don't leave it on, potentially drain the battery, or worse, have live winch controls with the executive producer bumping around. I know this looks bad, but bear with me. The jumper cables are just to represent what would be the wires going up front. These two little guys are the control wires. They go to either side of this single post double throw. What else do I need to tell you? Not much. That'll kill the whole system. Let's see if we can make a winch go spinny spinny. Reconnect these. Good news is that 40 amper seems to be working. Winch right there. Click this switch in. Click it the other way. Can't do too much. So there we go. That's all I wanted. Power the whole system down. Rock and roll. Bummed we didn't get the lights put on this time, but that's all right. I gotta really think about what lights I want to put on and where I want to put them. I don't want them to suck in the snow, and I don't want them to be someplace they're just gonna get smashed off if I go over under a tree or something. So if you got any questions or comments, by all means, leave me a comment down there in the squawk boxes. I know if you're a professional, watching me do electrical is pretty rough, but that's on you. This is probably like a 20-minute long video. Nobody made you stay, but I do appreciate it. Love to know what you think. If you have any suggestions on what else we should do on this dirty donkey. I've kind of fallen in love with it. If you can't tell, I think our last 3 or 4 videos were all mule related. The executive producer calls it the cow, because it's a Kawasaki, so it goes by the cow, the donkey, and the mule in the house. I'm gonna button this one up. Like I said, comment down in the squawk boxes if you like the video. That's common sense. Consider subscribing to the channel. I mean, if you like the video, you probably like the channel, right? That makes sense. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.